Alrighty, folks, welcome back to another episode of my Jerusalem playthrough where mic check, 1 2. My microphone's working, hopefully. And yeah, do you want to see something cool that I noticed? Check this out. The Commonwealth accepted the Prussian culture and they spread it all around the Livonian region as well as these Russian provinces. That's pretty cool because Prussia is cool. Now, with that being said, we are in a momentary peace here, and I'm going to grant some additional provinces to Hungary now that he has cored up the provinces that I required him to. And we're well and truly on the homeward stretch here. In 6 years' time, I can integrate Scandinavia, which I think I will do, hopefully, before the end of the game. Our power projection is beginning to diminish, which is a little bit sketchy. Also, you can see Austria has expanded into Czech, which is surprising, quite frankly. Czech, certainly in terms of development, because of this. Typically, this tends to happen in this farmlands province. There's no reason not to do it. The AI, as long as it is a capital city, the AI will usually develop that into oblivion. So, yeah, Austria's overall amount of Czech culture would have been huge, and I accepted him to just accept it, but he's decided to convert it up, which is also pretty cool in a way. I mean, it's not in other ways, but the German culture group expanding big time. And we have an idea here, because I'm wondering about this policy of plus siege on our generals, but also siegeability. That's a cool little policy that we can take, which I can't seem to see just for a second. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Down the bottom, offensive ideas, modern siege weapons. Yeah, so what I could do is declare on Bavarian. I think that's what we're going to do this episode. We're integrating GB. He's over 50% of the way integrated. Also integrating a small little subject here that's obviously going to be handed off to our colonial nations. And we're getting extremely close, lads, to the epic Ming Wars. But yeah, I'm going to declare war on Bavaria, and I'm going to go ahead and give it to Austria. Is there anything else I want to do? I've been thinking about this territory. Who do I want to give Prussia to? I was checking around the Kavanian Rus, and he's still only accepted Nogai. I could go ahead and give him Prussia as well, but we'll see. We'll see. I think there's nothing else I need to do while we're at peace. I briefly checked the buildings. I don't intend to build anything. Let's just go ahead and declare this war against the Empire. Now, there's basically no need to dismantle the Empire, but I would take it into consideration. We currently cannot do it in this one war. We would have to start another war, and like I said, I don't think there's any need to do so, so I don't think I will bother. But let's go. Somebody told me it will help if I play on a slower speed with the lag against Ming. Somebody said that in the comments, that it's best to just play slower as opposed to try to play faster, which is causing it to lag. It will be even slower than playing slower. So I'll definitely take that into consideration. But like I mentioned, I'm hoping that the lag is actually not so much a thing. But there's only one way to find out. Now, what does the full annexation look like here? 90%. So that will be too many provinces for Austria, most likely. You should be able to see your subjects have absolutism, I would say. Maybe they'll change it in the future. That'd be good if we could see our subjects' absolutism. We're also doing well on Diplo points, which means I could annex like all of these dudes maybe, if we wanted to. Core some up ourselves and leave others for Austria. Okay, let's artillery barrage here. We don't have enough generals to go around, but as we get really to the final hours, I can really slam down, well, final hours, final years, I can really slam down a lot of generals. Okay, so that's 91 war score cost. So what we could do, of course, is separate piece this. I'm trying to think if we see, I think maybe Austria and I combined would be overextended over 100 if we take all of this. But I'm not sure. Wait, oh yeah, he's going there, good. Chuck a siege general there. Let's artillery barrage that as well. But some people asking me, do we have enough time in the game to win? Do we have enough time to conquer the world? And there's only one way to find out, isn't there? But I'm optimistic. I might have to slow it down a little bit. Who knows? But of course, we're just going for that one faith. Excuse me, that world conquest. We're not going for the one faith or anything more ambitious. And I'm not spending too many of my admin points here because I want to make sure that I don't regret that. Just trying to go for that policy. I'm only going to do it if I'm happy with the amount of admin that we actually have at any given time. Okay, that will fall like instantly. We now have reinforcements. I'll go ahead and... Oh yes, I am clicking on this province. That was weird. I didn't realize you could artillery barrage while you're participating in combat there. Well, I learned something new. Do you see how we're fighting? But you can artillery barrage while you do that. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, so he is trying to man up here. Should be able to scare him off. Oh, that's Woods. His general's not too good. There's no way he'll win that. Maybe he couldn't retreat in time. I just thought he was just going to get scared off there. Yeah, well, that was easy. That was a stack wipe, in fact. So Nuremberg is the biggest fort level 9. Now, of course, we get the annex subject modifier again because that little nuisance that we just integrated out here in Mexico. It's really annoying. We do have a relation slot available though without suffering penalty, and we could make another client for the funsies, guys. I'm not sure exactly where. Could do a Scandinavian one once we integrate them, but he will replace his own slot. If we go ahead and look up our stated territory, the thing is that we're gonna state up a lot of GB. So the client, we could do something like a African client, but then of course you the client state is hardly going to be the same as a trading company. So we could do something like that. West Africa. For the funsies. Give them North Africa and West Africa. But it would all just be for the funsies, wouldn't it? Hardly necessary. Wow, Nuremberg fell there. Sweet. Okay, what exactly is not sieged? I feel like we sieged everything. Now, I know Scandinavia's relations were not maxed when we were at peace. We have diplomats available now. Let's go ahead and do that. And how are we doing on core in progress? We're going to be waiting. Typical. Okay, and we're waiting on this here as well. Ravensburg. This guy's still trying to core up everything. So the clients, it seems like regardless of how things go, they take like 50 years almost to get up and running. It's crazy. Alright, let's have a look. We'll obviously fully annex him. Okay, full annexation. I think that's most point efficient there. 94. Nope, that is. Okay, so Ravensburg is the designated survivor. So let's go ahead and separate piece this dude. Now we're going to have some overextension for a while, guys. But it's not going to be too long. I'd like to move things on here a little bit more quickly. So let's have a look at this again. Okay. So Nuremberg. Let's take that. Now, I can't separate piece Ravensburg or whatever they call Memmingen for the capital, whilst also taking their other province in the other peace deal. So he will actually survive this war. Oh, nice. 3663. That's what I'm talking about. And who is the emperor? That little one province mine is the emperor. Who's allied to them? Dismantling the empire is certainly inevitable. Alright, let's give as much to Austria as we can here initially. Nuremberg. This is everybody's favorite part of the game, right? Handing off the provinces while being absolutely paranoid that I'm going to be making a mistake. And inevitably, eventually making a mistake. Okay, we'll give the world's greatest city to Austria, and hopefully he's appreciative. Ulm. Begins with a C. Now, I could give him this area. There's no harm in doing that. Saint Gall. Wold. Zurich. Yep, happy to give him that area as well, which he has stated. Which, of course, is a German culture. Spade. And Alsace. I like the ones which are right down the bottom alphabetically. Württemberg. Würzburg. Is that the same province? Nope, there it is. Where is Würzburg? You've got me interested now. There it is. It's just the changing spell. It changes. The spelling changes, which throws me off a little bit. Okay, so if we keep giving him uncalled provinces, I'm interested to see how much he will take. M. He's at 82%. Rut row. $92%. $97%. I doubt he'll take more. Nope. So we're going to have to core up the rest in the meantime. Cool, though. Making Austria stronger, lads, so that, well, that's admin we don't have to spend, but of course, trying to make him stronger, because he is actually participating in these battles. And he has mid-tier army traditions. He's doing quality. Good on him. So he's got defensive, offensive, he's doing quality. But of course he's got morale of armies and a small amount of discipline for being Austria. Which we don't have. What do we have as far as that goes? We have discipline. So we've got slightly more discipline than he does. Somehow he rolls ridiculously good generals as well. For no reason. Because game. But he's got significantly more morale. Now, of course, we have a lot of bonuses, which also make us stronger, but still. Now, okay, so if we core up the stuff, we're no longer overextended there. That was a small amount of overextension. You know, about 50 or less. I think we're at like 86 overextension, so it's maybe just over 50. Now, hopefully the Empire is pretty much done. We could probably automatically declare wars here in the future in this region. But it's probably time. Yeah, I don't like that. Commonwealth. I think we're gonna piece out the Commonwealth, excuse me, we're gonna piece out 25% war school cost. I'm gonna try to declare war on his ally, the Denmark. And I'm going to try to fully annex the Pappy. That's the plan. Spend the rest of our overextension. Alright, looking good. Looking good. It seems to only have 17k. That's quite pathetic. I thought it'd actually have more. I mean, he has look at that, 32, 14, 51, and he's got a piece, 9% or 8% of the most ridiculous trading node ever. I mean, he's rich. I thought he would be slightly more impressive than that. I messed around a little bit playing the Papal State, guys, and I was surprisingly really enjoying myself. They're a really cool nation, I find. I've played like just about everybody under the sun in this game, especially around Europe. But I was kind of surprised. Like there are some aspects about them which are kind of dumb in a way. Like, you could say that Catholic is the best religion, for example, because of the sheer amount of bonuses that you can receive spending your papal influence. Most of them, of course, are not military-oriented. A lot of people like military-oriented ideas, and that's why they go for fervor and so on. But regardless, they're pretty damn good, in my opinion, especially inflation reduction. So many games that I play, my inflation gets up to 10 or more. And of course, the only solution is to spend admin points, at least initially. And there's some nations like Hungary which can really benefit from gold or gold available, which I did some meddling around with as well. But of course, it comes at the cost of inflation, which of course comes at the cost of admin points. I really like the inflation reduction from being a Catholic. But of course, the Papal State does not benefit from a lot of those bonuses, which is really quite weird, and it's, to me, a little bit silly and unencouraging in a way. But having actually played them, they do have some bonuses involving the fact that they can, they always have the equal chance of being courier controller, which I'm sure a lot of people know of. So whatever is they basically always have the highest chance, let's put it that way, and that includes them beginning as the courier controller. And there are some interesting bonuses involving that, like reduce aggressive expansion, which they begin with, which is obviously very appropriate in this region. But yeah, I actually didn't realize they have some events, much like many nations like Austria have events which are very quite powerful. Like the permanent Diplo reputation that Austria receives. The Papal State also has some events. Grasslands, cool, let's smash them. They actually have a modifier where they can choose from a military admin or Diplo modifier for the entire game, and I think the modifier is reduced technology cost, but it's reduced technology cost in whichever thing you select. But if you take the military one, you get +5 discipline for the entire game. That's really cool. You only learn things like that when actually playing the nation, I suppose. But yeah, the Papal State does have, I think they have discipline in their ideas. Yep, 5 discipline. So they actually have 10 discipline, effectively, if you take that, which is pretty good. I'm a big fan of discipline, personally. Yeah, anyway, they're just a really enjoyable nation. Some people were recommending me to play them, but they're also, quite frankly, they're also pretty strong. There's no real way around it. They're pretty strong, in my opinion. And I think pretty quickly I would become pretty powerful. But I definitely recommend them as a sort of a mid-tier playthrough if you guys have not checked them out. Because they're basically an Italian who's very unique amongst Italians. And yeah, like I said, aggressive expansion and so on is definitely a big issue in their theatre, and the fact that they begin with reduced aggressive expansion, extra diplomat in the beginning of the game, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I had a lot of fun playing them briefly, but I didn't continue onwards. I like their color as well. I'll stop talking about them in a second, but I do like their color of the nation, and it's fun and different. Like I colonized, setting up some Italian colonies, but of course it's called New Papal State and so on. It's pretty cool. Alrighty, hopefully we don't get that negative modifier again while we're overextended. We probably will though. We definitely have few options if our truce is up with the Commonwealth to declare our nations who are not Ming's tributaries. And I'm pretty optimistic, guys, because truce timer is not an issue here. I'm pretty optimistic that we can, do the jobby, that we can achieve this. Europe is almost entirely taken care of. In fact, we probably don't need these nations to be co-belligerent, or to be co-belligerent rather, for our truces to be up. Let's put it that way. I could probably just declare war and start integrating them as well. Begin knocking some of these guys off. Oh no! There is some shared chord shenanigans, which is irritating. I'm a dummy. But that's okay. This war, I suspect, will not take too long. Marching a lot of my troops out east in anticipation for the Ming. We've got some action up here. Russia is a tributary state, but Siberia is not a tributary of Ming. So that's an area that we can knock out. Surely Scandinavia's happy. It's 5 years before we can integrate him. It's 77. 1777. That we can integrate that guy. Fort level 8. How rude. Why must you be a fort? Yep, Austria's gonna not be able to convert. Hey, he's not even doing it yet because he doesn't have the admin points apparently. That worked out well. No! Rebels in the Horn of Africa. I thought we had left this horrible place. Not quite. We gotta convert it up. Let's use a good general here and force march to maneuver around before those rebels are successful, hopefully. That'd be ideal. That's annoying. Some civil war action with inside the empire preventing me from getting the occupations that I would desire. Absent merchant in the Philippines. We're doing well enough on our Diplo points. Ah, that's just money though. I should have taken the money hit. Who cares about money? We're rich. I just want to give a huge thanks, guys, because I know, you know, I speak about it all the time, but you guys we're a little bit more tight-knit here, and thanks so much for the support on my new series, guys. I feel like you guys get the ball rolling. I'm very appreciative of that, and there's been a bit of a delay in me finishing the series off, so I apologize for that as well. It's mostly in real life stuff. I'm not sure if I mentioned it here or not. I forget, but my mother has been trying to sell her house, like IRL, and it's annoying, quite frankly. It's quite frankly annoying. A lot is involved with that, and yeah, I'm one of those sons who seems to be constantly helping out the mums, if you know what I'm saying. It's just how it is. But that on top of everything else has been quite stressful. I mean, we had to clean the whole house and everything, which is boring IRL stuff. But if you've ever done something like that, then you know it does not make for fun times. We're doing really well on prestige with all of these victories, so let's go ahead and placate. But I will try to build up prestige. Is that for level 9? Ah, god dang it. We do want prestige to fight the Ming Bear, who is currently higher than us in prestige. I'm also going to have to take up my military. That's no problem. We're going to catch up to him just fine. Yep. The occupation of Rome. We actually prefer that to the subjugation of Rome. So there we go, and we have 100% control in Genoa. Sweet. Although the value did decrease a bit without his merchants, I suppose, which is interesting. I wonder whether he placed his merchants. Yes, so that's fine. But, no, what? No, as Catholic? Oh, annoying. I can make sure to convert that whole area up, but there you go, due to our overextension. So the issue with that is the Papal State will spawn somewhere else, right? When we reject. In like a archbishopric's territory or something like that? I think. But I don't see him. He's very similar color to us. Maybe not. Maybe he's dead. Maybe there was no government type remaining that would take him. Because he's a constitutional republic. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think the Papal State no longer exists. Cool. There's a way to check, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, they don't exist. Because when we click on them, the tab does not open. Maybe they'll spawn at the end of the month or something though, because I'm not 100% sure how that works. But let's go clean up the rebels, our favorite thing to do. Why do we have 40 transports there? I built that from a template, I guess. They were supposed to bolster these other stacks, weren't they? Okay. With that in mind, let's bring that over. Meet up at the same spot. Because I think the idea is to have 4 naval stacks going. I think that was the plan. I have really good news, guys, which I don't. It might be too soon to say it, but I'll just say that you guys will be the first to know, and I've got really good news in regards to like the channel and so on. But it's just not. I don't want to get my hopes up. It's just not quite sussed out just yet. But hopefully, if things go well, you guys are going to be really excited for something to come in the future. Many of you will, at least. And myself, perhaps most of all. But yeah, like I said, I shouldn't get my hopes up. I'm not going to talk about it because then if it doesn't come to fruition, everybody's going to be gutted, including myself. Let's focus on the game, Monk. So Hessen is the owner of this war, the leader. We have to peace out from him or else it's going to cost us Diplo points. And how are you doing, Austria? You coring anything up? Almost. So a month has passed, right? Yep. Papal State is dead. Deaded. Waiting for these to core up, and then I'm going to see just how much I can afford to take. But we also need to get these last few forts so that we can actually peace out. Cavanian Rus. I wish that, I don't know. maybe client states should not state territory out when they don't have the admin points. Something like that. Because the thing is, I know that he's going to have a partial accepted culture of all of this, some of which is high dev. And I feel like I should have exclusively fed him the Russian region first. Because he might not even have the states available for all I know in the future. Okay, this fleet should be arriving soon in Madagascar. I guess Cologne just spawned? Or he just changed religion? No, I think he just spawned. Return territory or something. I'm happy to go one over my military points. 100 army tradition. Look at that. Average. I swear, man. I've mentioned it before, but I don't roll very good generals. Like, where are the good generals? Like, that's good, but like, I've rolled generals like that before with like 50 army tradition. Or less. It's like, where are the real good generals, I wonder? Sometimes I just wonder. Where are they at? And then the one time I get one, he dies. I still remember in this game when I was so hyped about rolling a 6-shock general. It was early enough to where it really could have been a game changer. And he literally just died. Before like he could be a game changer or whatsoever. Before he could impact the game at all. So that's what I was going for. 2 heavy fleets. Splitting that up into 2 heavy fleets, which are going to help us dominate. Okay, so the other area that we have to deal with is Japan. Okay, he'll piece this out. This is awkward though. We are currently, after taking out the people state, we are currently exactly at 100%. So I'll just be finishing off this war while we wait. But yeah, Austria's done most of his scoring. So I'll probably wait until these ones are finished. The initial ones. And then we're done at that point. This is all done. We need enough to deal with rebel stacks and finish off the other nations remaining, and that should be enough easily. Let's wander out to Asia, lads. Here we go. Wandering out to Asia. Okay. Definitely enough to do the job. Are these all up to date? They all seem to be up to date. It's pretty impressive. Our fleets are up to date. So if we roll an admiral, I think whatever Ming has is going to pale in comparison. Now, we're getting hardly any papal influence, I suspect. Yep. Because the Pope no longer exists, and you don't get any modifier based on relations any longer. I remember doing the calculation here, and we would have been at +2, roughly. We're at -1. But -1 is not too bad. It's fine. Perfectly sustainable. And we're definitely beyond the point that we are really, have any kind of dependence on papal influence. So we're getting -1 per month, but of course, as we're constantly converting provinces, we're in fact gaining much more than that. I think that general was just about to engage something, wasn't he? Crap. No, he's already dealt with it. Good. Good, 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 good. Trying to use that siege general here to move things along. I hate doing it manually, but a part of me feels like I should manually convert areas like this. So that's what I'm going to do. I just hate it because of the tedium. Because doing the cheapest to convert is not wise. We've had another spout of rebels around here, and I'm going to just focus out the Horn of Africa so that we don't need to be here any longer. But the same goes for just Africa in general. Alright, nice. Definitely taking everything here, but I'm just waiting. I think if we core up this first sort of batch, we can hand off some... We will hand stuff off to Austria regardless, but we won't be over 100% overextension. I think still 4 years before Sweden can be integrated. So... Now this is interesting. I like it that he's got this one little subject here. So we can attack Japan and then attack them soon afterwards after calling up Japan stuff. So I think Japan is probably the next smart move. Now that elite general has finished his job. Let's equip him here. Some of these provinces barely want to rebel. I think Unrest General would be really nice, but he's not of the appropriate religion. Culture, I mean. Either way, guys, we're actually just waiting. Just wait-renoing for the quarter finish, which is pretty typical. That's the late game when you're trying to do something this ambitious in a nutshell. But yeah, I think the future, I can definitely see Japanese and cyber war in the future. We could annex all of this. That's one way to deal with, yeah, some land. And it's just going to be the mincemeat, the grinding the Ming by attacking tributaries down into a pulp after that, and tiny little few nations who remain inside of Europe. But yeah, I think we got plenty of time, honestly. There is no, I mean, we're so powerful. It's unbelievable. We're hilariously powerful. I don't actually recall being this powerful in my, I mean, economically and so on, in my Roman game, actually, believe it or not. Part of the reason our force limit is so high is due to quantity ideas. Right now, we'd actually be near our force limit or at our force limit if not for the quantity ideas, which do that 50% increase the force limit. Yeah, but it's going to be a breeze to actually smash them in terms of strength, and I'll try to do it as fast as possible. But that's going to be a future episode. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, one last thing. Hungary did accept the Polish culture group, which I thought was pretty cool and appropriate. Just because, whatever, Hungary's that much stronger and stable, but I just thought I'd let you guys know. He's got, I believe, with the exception of that province, he's got 100% acceptance of what he owns currently. Thanks for watching, guys. Whew, we're really getting to the end here. Good stuff. I'll see you in the next episode.